Dylan D'Angelo knew for a fact comic books were the single most awesome thing in the universe. Without exception, without fail, they meant more to him than school or friends or even his favorite Nintendo games. He was a straight-C student at Longstreet Middle School, though he was bright for his age and everyone seemed to know it. All the other kids hated him, which made paying attention difficult. You know when you're not wanted. It's hard to miss it when they say it to your face. Orphan, drug baby, eggplant parmesan? That last one Dylan had to Google for an hour. Eggplant parmesan, epithet, noun, a person or persons of mixed race, specifically African American and Italian. Dylan was the new kid in school. He'd only lived with his grandma 7 months. Alabama meant nothing to him before that time. And these kids, these nasty kids, they formed cliques early and despised newcomers. Dylan considered himself an artist. He designed his own team of comic book superheroes and he put them through their paces every afternoon. The muscular, imposing U.S. patriot, his super uniform adorned and spangled red, white, and blue. Lazarus Lad, his sidekick. Skinny and nerdy, just like Dylan, only he was a frickin' powerhouse, too. Dylan's bedroom was like a fortress, a cave, a secret, impenetrable lair of which only he knew the secrets. As the sun set outside, the twilight lent his room a gloomy, creepy Legion of Doom vibe. Dylan sharpened his pencil, narrowed his eyes, and stuck out his tongue in deep concentration. He set the pencil tip to Lazarus Lad's still unshaded mask. There was nothing better in the entire world than life amongst his heroes. A car horn blared down on the street. Dylan ignored it. His pencil rode over the paper. Another horn blared, then a door slammed and someone screamed. This broke Dylan's concentration. He heard the words, "Oh Jesus! Oh help us, Jesus!" He recognized the voice as Marcia from across the street. Nice old lady, she sounded upset. More doors slammed, more car horns. What the frick? Dylan got up from his desk and went to the window. Someone knocked on his bedroom door. "Dylan, baby, come out here." "In a second, Grandma," said Dylan. "No, Dylan, now." Grandma's voice had a serious, not joking edge. Dylan's stomach dropped. Classic reflexes. She caught me doing something wrong. Only Dylan hadn't done anything, not in a while. His hands trembled. He felt anxiety, dread, but what for? Why? He went to the door and followed Grandma D'Angelo down to the living room. The TV flickered on its stand, the newscaster on screen crying her eyes out. Wow, that was mind-blowing. Dylan had never seen a news person cry before. "Sit down, Dylan," said Grandma. "I need to call your father." "Dad? Why?" said Dylan. "Just watch. I'm sorry, baby. I need to call your father." Grandma went into the kitchen to use the phone. The warm smell of freshly baked bread filled the house. It somehow seemed to make all the honking and shouting outside even louder. "Yes, Jan, we're hearing that also," said the lady on CNN. "On the phone? Okay, we've got on the phone with us now Martin Willis from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in Atlanta. Martin, are you there?" The picture on screen didn't make sense to Dylan. There were riots. He couldn't tell where. People were beating each other, looting grocery stores, and running wild. Cops lined up in riot gear. They had guns and tear gas and more guns and big hulking cars that may as well have been tanks. The tear gas canisters flew and bounded off the concrete. People didn't care. They threw them back and acted like lunatics. The picture changed. An angry Asian guy shouted and pounded a big black podium. And in Russia, people chanted for their president to do something. Do something about what? In the kitchen, Grandma slammed the phone down and swore. She huffed, picked the phone back up, started dialing again. The CNN lady said, "Martin, is the CDC adequately prepared to quarantine God?" "God? God?" said the guy on TV. "Nobody said anything about God, Michelle." "Why would they need to?" CNN lady said. And why is the Planner administration taking so long to confirm what the rest of the world already knows? Shit! All the lines are dead, Grandma said. She jabbed at the buttons with her index finger. What's going on, Grandma? Said Dylan. The picture changed. Weird image, hard to negotiate. It was a shaky helicopter shot. Whatever it was pink and splotchy. Grandma, what is that? Said Dylan. The cameraman zoomed out. Everything got blurry a few seconds and then it became clear. Dylan saw a face, a man's face. No, wait, not just a man. God's face? Grandma, is that? It is, said Grandma. Yes, it is. Why is he bleeding? There was a fight. He got into a fight. How big is he? Grandma blanched and stared at the TV. Pretty fucking big, she said. Sorry, Dylan, sorry. Over the next few minutes, he got a sense of scale. Within the hour, he began thinking about existence like he never had before. What was happening? What did it mean? He felt like a deer in the headlights. A worm mashed the flat side of a churning cartwheel. What did it mean? Really, seriously, what the heck did it mean? It definitely meant humans weren't alone in the universe. Did it mean God was human? Was it even God? Was it? And the red one, holy cow, it looked like the devil. Were these things, these monstrous things, were they maybe aliens? Is that what they were? Did it mean God and Satan were really aliens and they were dead now and had beaten each other to death in a Godzilla, Mechagodzilla fight? It meant they were dead? Dead. Dead. They had beaten each other to death? That's why everyone was screaming? That's why the news lady couldn't stop sobbing? Someone pounded on the front door. Dylan jumped. Grandma got up and went to look through the peephole. Marcia? She said. Marcia, what's wrong? A muffled voice came from the other side. No, I'm sorry, we can't talk right now, said Grandma. The muffled voice again. Dylan heard muffin tin and butter knife and existence is a lie. Grandma said, I know, sweetie, but... No, I'm sorry, we can't right now. I need to look after my own family. My son's in Los Angeles. Goodbye, Marcia. And then she checked the deadbolt and lock to make sure they were secure. What did she want, Grandma? Asked Dylan. Nothing, honey. Is she having muffin problems again? Never mind, Dylan, it's nothing. It's L.A., isn't it? Said Dylan. We can't help her because the devil landed on L.A. He spoke the words, but they didn't make sense. Los Angeles had been flattened like a pancake, torn up like cheap tissue paper. If Dylan had to draw the scene, he'd put word art beside the LA-sized mushroom cloud that went kaprom. On the television, they showed the two bodies side by side in split screen. God had fallen on Nevada, feet and legs splayed out, sort of stretched out wide. He was all bruised up and bloodied, right eye black and blue. Dylan hated looking at him. He hated it. Lip all swollen, blood all over his mouth. The other guy, though, the devil, looked much, much worse. Not much blood, but his neck had twisted all the way around. Neck muscles bunched up and all sick-looking. His big black forked tongue stuck out of his mouth. Los Angeles? Huh. Dad was there. Made no sense at all. The devil's arm had broken, and it had kinked up at the elbow so his hand sort of lay across the northeast face of the Hollywood Hills. The tip of a gnarled, cracked fingernail rested there atop the Y of the Hollywood sign. His head, twisted all the way around. It had taken out Pasadena. He'd crushed Glendale, barely missed Dodger Stadium. He'd cut a long, angry doomsday gash through Altadena, Chinatown, East LA. Debris and wreckage, impact zones all over the city. Inglewood and Compton and Lakewood, Anaheim, Yorba Linda, Burbank, Studio City, Sherman Oaks, and Encino. Flames and smoke and ash and death. Dad, dead people, body bags on the news, crying news ladies. Why hadn't Dad called them? What about Dad? Said Dylan. He's okay, isn't he? Grandma said, I hope so, baby, I really do. But her voice didn't say that. Dylan would do her comic book thought balloon this way. No, baby, your dad's not okay. Nobody will ever be okay again. He didn't like this comic anymore. Stopped sketching, turned the page, closed the cover. Dylan got up from the couch and went to give his grandma a hug. She cried in his arms. He cried too. Even so, he couldn't hear their sobs over the shouting and honking going on out in the street.